Okay. Yep. So I'm going to share my screen and then we get the meeting going. Okay. Hopefully everyone can see my screen. Yes. Yep. Okay. So this agenda for today, of course, first of all, I'll say a few words about CMRC for those that just join us. Always want to remind people what CMRC is all about, and we have some news and some updates that want to share with the community. And then next is possibilities, going to explain what possibilities, what they do, and also what CMRC and other community members, organizations can contribute to that effort. And we also then have Credit Career from the free application for federal student grant aid that will join us around 5 o'clock. Jose is not here yet because he's got a conflict. In fact, there's another FAFSA meeting going on apparently, and he's going to come in about 5 o'clock. And United Way also cannot make it, unfortunately, but I'm going to share some of the slides that they share with me. Again, they are also attending the same conflict of the financial application federal student aid meeting. Okay, so let me just go to just say a few words about CMRC again. Just clicked the wrong thing. I'll share this. Okay, in general, CMRC really is a vision as being a bridge builder to connect racial and marginalized communities to ourselves and to opportunities come in of interest to us. That's our vision. Really is really want to become a hub of information and opportunities to support RMCs. And by the way, this set of slides are on the CMRC Beam website, and there are hot links here that you can go in and navigate and get deeper into the conversation. And I usually don't spend much time going through my slides because I like to get our speaker to really get to what they're going to say. So this kind of value statement is, as far as we're concerned, CMRC, we basically want to be a bridge, right? So to the community and to ourselves and the marginalized community, as well as the Rochester community at large. And also another important point is we want to showcase that we have talent within the BIPOC community. We want to showcase that. And also we want to help promoting anything that goes on within a city that we can share with the RMC community, the BIPOC community. And it's also important for us to hold our partners that work with us accountable for their commitments to the BIPOC mission, and also to collaborate with various community members. This is what we feel is our value. And the next set of slides mention a little bit about some of the engagement opportunities that CMRC is looking to follow up with. The first one is kind of important in the area of the major project called MedHub 3.0. This is something that DMC had asked CMRC previously to contribute to when Rochester was applying for federal grant to make Rochester a medical hub. And what DMC is doing now, they're converging the effort into a statewide MedHub 3.0 build-out. So we feel that we want to advocate the fact that previously we're supporting Bio Rochester Hub in the Rochester area, kind of from a BIPOC standpoint. Now that the BIPOC Rochester Hub is converging into the MedHub statewide effort, we want to make sure that the CMRC still stays relevant so that our voice not only just is pervasive in Rochester area, we want to make a presence to statewide effort. And that's something that we want to continue to work with DMC, the city of Rochester, and Bio Rochester Hub previously that we had conversation with, that said that so that they don't forget us. The CMRC had clear contribution to the effort. We want to make a bigger impact to the state. So that's important to us from MedHub 3.0 standpoint. And then, of course, from Olmsted County, there's John Edmonds is here. And the Olmsted County's mobilizing Olmsted Voice of Equity. So we believe that CMRC can play a role to help build trust and also to help recruit council members, move council members. And of course, there are other efforts that here are listed. For example, the help promote and convene events for FAFSA. So that's something that that later on we're going to have a speaker to talk more about that. And another one is the Rochester Vision 2050. Some of you may know about the Mayor Norton's kicking off a Rochester Vision 2050 to really bring in voices from the whole city to look ahead to see what does community want to see in a big picture way, what 2050 should look like in the long term. So it's the way she thinks about it is that we have a big view of 2050, but also try to strategize what are the short-term things that could be done to get to that point. So again, there will be survey that come out to get people to recruit people to join the effort and become aware of it. So CMRC could play a role to help getting feedback to the effort. And then so I want to also say a few words about some of the events are coming up of interest. The United Way going to have a BIPOC leader panel. In fact, I will say a few words later about that. And I'm on the advisory council, Minnesota Public Radio, and they're coming to town. NPR Connect is coming to town, Chateau Theater. So I think welcome people to come join that particular event. It'll be very interesting for to hear that. And then of course Juneteenth is coming in in June 15. In particular, Journey is asking people to nominate somebody to be recognized as Mr. and Mrs. Juneteenth. And there's Juneteenth Jubilee breakfast, and then there's Walk Around the World coming up. Other news, this may be something that I found out, and that Minnesota, this is a statement, the first one about Minnesota Star Tribune is reaching out to Rochester. They actually come to town to do town hall. And this link here can take you to some of the things that event that took place yesterday about how they're coming to town to really work with, gather information from a standpoint of getting to know Rochester more. I think that's a good statement to say that we're being recognized more from a Twin Cities standpoint. And then if there's time later, I can share the fact that there's a new tool that the public health, Olmsted County Public Health is adopted and filled out to give you information about health knowledge resources. And it's called Credible Mind. And this links here will take you to the tool, which is very extensive. It talks to you about, things like what you need to know about different. In fact, I'll click a link here to see what that takes you to. It gives you some idea about, what that tool looks like. So it's a portal that you can look at different resources about health and wellness. Okay, so I think that's my presentation. And then I'll let Deborah take over. Okay, so Deborah, I stopped sharing now, and then you can share.
I'm not used to Teams.
Yep.
Do you just hit the share button?
Yep. Can you find it, or otherwise I could share too?
See. Includes.
This is an updated one for me. I see it up on the top right.
Yeah, and then I'm looking at presenter mode. I'll do. Okay. And then it's asking me to,
If not, I can actually share your slide too. Oh,
wait,
okay. You're
Is that
sharing,
it?
you're sharing the whole screen right now.
yeah, I want to share.
You can move your slides to,
The front.
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, how do I get my head out?
Yeah, I don't know.
That might be part of the update.
Yeah,
Oh,
There we
there you
there's
go.
go.
one.
Yeah, there you go. You got
There
it.
we go. No, now I'm back. Hold on. Okay. Well, I can't see any of you now because of the way I have it set up. Can you see the slides?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So Al, thanks so much. I'm really happy to join you all today to tell you about Possibilities. It's an organization that provides opportunities, choices, and connections for people with disabilities. And on this first slide, there are hot links to the Possibilities website and their phone number. There's a link where you can sign up to receive updates about news and resources. I really encourage you to sign up for that. And you'll see that my personal email is on here too. It's deborah@hallkelly.com. And I'm a consultant working with Possibilities, focusing on program innovation and advancing racial and LGBTQIA plus equity, inclusion, and belonging. And I was happy to attend your meeting last month and thrilled to find out about all the resources and all the work that's being done. And I am really interested in becoming even more knowledgeable about all of your programs and how we can collaborate. Possibilities, vision and mission are related to yours in that Possibilities is interested in promoting equity and inclusion. And its vision says that people with disabilities are thriving, valued, and engaged community members. Our community is inclusive, vibrant, and advocates for all of its members. And Possibilities does this by providing opportunities for children and adults with disabilities through person-centered care. And that's guided and informed by each individual or their families' goals, preferences, and values to create greater independence, better health, and community integration. Possibilities was founded in Rochester in 1961 by 3 women who wanted educational and social opportunities for their children with disabilities and actually opened up one of the first day centers in the state. Possibilities fulfills its mission of contributing to and connecting with community through a number of different programs. Life enrichment programs are day programs for adults with disabilities who are unable to or prefer not to work. And these day services provide recreation, life skills training, socialization, companionship, and other services. Some of the life enrichment programs are more center-based, while other programming brings participants into the community anywhere from 80 to 40% of the day. And there are openings if you know of anyone who may want to become a direct supports professional within a day service program. And you can always look on the website for what openings are available now, either in the day programs or in-home programs. Evening programs include skills classes, and these are something that was started recently, and they're very popular with youth and adults. Professionals from the community share their expertise at these sessions with topics such as fire safety, sexual health, potting and caring for plants, navigating the internet, and engaging with law enforcement, which was recently presented by Olmsted County Sheriff's Department. There's a calendar on the website where anyone who wants to attend can register. And if any of you have expertise you would like to share in one of these classes, please let us know. One of the newest programs Art Abilities has started is called Art Abilities, and it's been wildly successful. We believe in the transformative power of the arts for personal and artistic growth and developing a deeper community connection. And our artists had a recent art opening where they showed 42 works of art, and they had $9,000 in sales. So it's a wonderful program. If you ever want to take a look at some of these programs, I know Sue Mackert is here, who is executive director on this, but there's contact information at the end of our slides as well. For in-home services that are provided, individual home supports are available so a person with disabilities can stay in their own home. And many people don't realize that funding is available through what's called a waiver, and a parent or relative can be hired to support a family member, or you can hire a non-related caregiver. And the first step that Possibilities can help with is connecting the individual with a county case manager to determine their eligibility for funding. Possibilities is a 245D licensed provider and functions as the employer for the caregiver that's hired and provides all the necessary training, oversight, and payroll. And we hope that you'll help us connect with people who could use these services, and they're available throughout southeastern or southern Minnesota. Also, we are looking for bilingual and culturally competent caregivers. So please let us know if you have contacts who are looking for work or who have a family member that needs care. Currently, Possibilities serves more than 250 families and individuals in 11 counties in southern Minnesota, with about 25% and growing numbers are identifying as Black, Somali, Indigenous, Latino, Latina, Bosnian, African American, Asian, Thai, Cambodian, Vietnamese, Hmong, and non-white other, and 19% are under the age of 18. And lastly, the Employment and Careers Program assists people with disabilities in finding and keeping a job that pays a competitive wage, capitalizes on personal strengths, and Possibilities provides the support and training necessary to be successful in the workplace. And we're also increasing vocational rehabilitation services. And some of you may be aware that some of our employment partners include Mayo Clinic, Quick Trip, Hy-Vee, and others. Possibilities is currently doing a feasibility study for creating an intergenerational day and learning center for all ages and abilities. And we hope to create a groundbreaking program and pilot for the state. So stay tuned for more news about that in the future. In a survey of people served by Possibilities, we learned that our programs reduce emergency room visits for emotional distress, account for better engagement at work, foster stronger feelings of being valued, and increase comfort with being connected to a community. This last slide has contact information and with some hot links for getting to the website, emails about jobs, joining the mailing list, and I'd like to just go to the Possibilities website for a moment. And I'd like to show you a video where program participants, here, let me escape this. Program participants talk about their experience with possibilities.
Deborah, one thing about sharing,
Yeah,
if you don't enable share with audio, the sound doesn't come through. That's one of the facets of Teams, unfortunately.
will you
So
will you
you-
click to the possibilities website? Here.
So you want me to share instead? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll stop sharing and then you can. It's possibilities.org.
I'll get there somehow. Okay. Oh, I think I forgot to enable sharing with sound too. So let me start again. It's one of those trick. Sure.
I usually use Zoom, so I'm not familiar with where all the tools are in this one. Oh,
Include sound. Okay, there you go.
I know once there was a word in one of the applications when Ali was filling that up, and it's stuck in my head all the time. It says, "Do you have a disability?" And I was waiting for Ali to answer that question to see and realize, does he know, and what the answer would be, and he said yes.
Dad was a cross-country truck driver. Yeah, it was just me and Dad on the road. I've stuck my feet in every body of water that the U.S. touches. I did it when I had legs.
And the person who was interviewing him said, that's very good that you answered yes, and you are proud of yourself or who you are as an individual.
All the way up until like November 11th of 96, I was I was a normal child. It's bacterial meningitis. I stayed in, I lived in St. Mary's from November 96 to Mother's Day weekend 97.
Hello, and welcome to the world of disabilities, our world. Raise your hand if you know someone with a disability. Come on, don't be shy. 1, 2, 3. I see you. Friends, neighbors, mothers and fathers, grandparents, brothers and sisters, cousins, aunts and uncles. I could rattle off statistics that confirm everyone will be impacted by disabilities at some point in our lives, or that currently 12,500 people in Olmsted County live with a disability. I can confidently state that people with disabilities constitute the largest minority in the country. But I would rather share the essence of what we do at Possibilities daily.
Really tough on a nonverbal Down syndrome to be locked up in a house with 3 consumers and 4 staff. So it kind of did take a toll on his behavioral issues. And I mean, he was literally sleeping half a day. and up all night and came back to Possibilities, got up early, went to Possibilities, involved himself in all the day programs, came home, was exhausted obviously, but just amazing transformation.
The people we serve here at Possibilities, they have the same wants and needs that we all have.
And I think that part of the newness of Possibilities is to have programs like Art Abilities where you can choose to be a part of that, but you can still be a part of employment or a part of life enrichment or a part of volunteering in the community, that you now have choices to go from program to program to program so that all of your needs are met.
The options that are given to him by Possibilities and the ways they would like, strengthen his personality.
They make me smile and happy and laugh, yeah.
I need them just as much as they need me.
We assist youth and adults to adapt to the world around them. People who strive to live life as contributing members of society, as volunteers or employees. People with dreams and aspirations for education, for marriage and family, for culture, fun, recreation, and stimulating activity. People who want to influence change. People who wish to be treated with respect and understanding.
For having a disability, I thought workers would treat me different, but I was expecting the treat us the same. This is me. I am what I am. It doesn't matter. People gotta get used to it.
He's just so positive and never met a stranger and will talk to anybody and kind and, yeah, compassionate. He's a good man.
Yep.
Yep.
People in this video are inviting you into their world. Take the journey and then partner with Possibilities to make certain people with disabilities are 100% empowered and 100% included in our community.
Thanks so much. If you'd like a couple minutes, Sue Mackert is on here and I am, we can answer questions, but I also would like to make sure that I get information out to all of you. We have like hard brochures and flyers that I could bring to your or send to your locations. I also could email flyers and information. So I'm not sure the best way of doing that, Al.
Yeah, you could send it to me, make sure that it gets to the right place, people too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yep.
That's great. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Are you ready for some questions? Maybe just a couple of minutes or question,
Sure.
5-10 minutes?
Sure. And let's get Sue up here too.
Yeah.
There she
Anybody
is.
any comments or questions about Possibilities? Otherwise, I'll start. In terms of the kind of difference, diverse differences, what are the most prevalent kind of mental or disability that you face in terms of the demographically, does that make sense? A question?
This is Sue. I think I understand your question, Al. Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah.
So I can speak in some general terms. One of the things we face the most in our community is for youth who don't have places to be when school is out of session or before school and after school, and in that period when schools no longer have to serve. They need places to be and or further education for employment or social skills. In terms of people with disabilities, We see the growing number in Olmsted County. A few years ago, the state demographer indicated there were 12,500 people living with one or more disabilities. We're now up to 17,000. And we know that number will continue to grow. And part of that is due to our businesses like Mayo Clinic that are recruiting individuals who may have family members with disabilities and look for a place to locate that has services like ours. And then we also have one of the things that Possibilities feels strongly about is that no one should be left behind. And everyone has a right to go someplace during the day. So we have a group of individuals who may not be able to speak, who may be fed from a tube, but who need to have that social integration. And there are a number of them, and we can't handle all of them. But in this community, we have to do more to make certain people like that aren't shut out and that they have a place to go. Because even if they can't speak in the way we do, we know that being here makes a difference. And so that's one of the largest aspects of our mission is to make certain those individuals are not left behind. And that's challenging during legislative and other and just other life issues. I had a major philanthropic group tell me that they don't normally give to people with disabilities because they don't see impact as they might with a growing child or something else. And I indicated that they have to change the definition of impact, because for a person with a disability who gets up every morning and comes here, that's significant impact. And it's really in what do we want our community to be? The reality is there's no diversity, equity, and inclusion without disability. People with disabilities do represent the largest minority in the country, and we, as a community, want to be able to accept all people. And so we've got a large population, and we're doing our best to serve, but also do extensive outreach for those that we know are not being served. If that answered your question or not. We have a number of challenges.
Thank you. Anybody else have any? I'll have one more, then I'll, because I think you and I, Susan, when you and I talk about what CMRC uniqueness about being connecting to minority groups, that unique translation, that type of thing. But I also said, well, you could go to IMAA, there's translators there. But I think you also mentioned the fact that the importance of relationship, building a trusting relationship that is longer lasting than simply transactional translation services. Can you expand on that a little bit more?
It's so very important, and it's one of the reasons why we applied to Mayo Community Relations to their group to get a grant to work with communities that we know have not been fully reached, and that's all communities of color and BIPOC and the GLBT, and we did so because we want that cultural understanding. It's language, but it's also the cultural heritage that if you are a member of a particular group and you have a disability as well, your identity sometimes gets lost because where schools, where individuals, where government takes care of things is the disability. And what we want is you may have a disability, but you still have an identity, a cultural identity that we want to protect and highlight. And so it's finding ways to really balance and combine so that all aspects of that person are being respected and helped.
Okay, thank you. Well, if anyone has any question, Chow,
I do
you
have a
seem to,
question.
okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
Thank you for the presentation and from Deborah, and I know that you've done some work with Jacob as well, who works at the city. My question is tied to something you mentioned about being an employment partner and wanting to know where I find resources or information specific to that, because I think that is an area that we, the city, have not engaged in, but would like to explore.
Well, we will contact you.
Thank you.
I've got your number.
All right.
We'd love to explore that. We're always looking for new employers, and we would love to work with the city.
And one of the things that I will say that we feel very strongly about is we do not pay sub-minimum wages. We feel that people with disabilities have as much right to earn competitive wages as anyone else. And so our programs are geared toward minimum wage or higher positions. We do not pay sub-minimum wage, which is common in some of the disability venues. We just think it's not. Minimum wage is so low that if you can't pay minimum wage when you're doing piecemeal work, then you really have to look at yourselves. But we want individuals who either exist in Rochester now as residents or come here via their family. We want them to have long-lasting employment opportunities, and most employers find that people with disabilities are extraordinarily loyal and they show up and they're good workers.
Thank you.
I'll call you.
Okay, anybody else have any comment or questions? If not, that we'll move on. Okay, thank you again for coming and sharing your information about possibilities.
Thank you
And
so much.
I'm not sure I'm seeing Jose. Is Jose here yet? Because I know that he wouldn't be available until 5 o'clock, but it's past 5 o'clock. He's still not here yet. So I'll maybe just quickly share what I know about what Cradle Career is doing in terms of helping students apply financial aid. And so this is the Cradle Career advertising or flyer promotion about their program about application help. Essentially is the fact that we really want community-based organizations to help high school graduates to apply for financial aid. And I think maybe I'm going to call upon perhaps Miriam, you can speak to this a little bit about what ACLA has done in terms of helping the Hispanic, Latino members, students to apply. Can you say a few words about that, Miriam? Can I put you on the spot?
Yes, I actually attended another meeting this morning talking about all the changes that the FAFSA at the state level and federal levels, they are making more accessible. They're the challenge here is that people have had bad experience with FAFSA, and those who want to become independent, they were asking for parents' information. I mean, it's complicated. So I see that they continue struggling getting people to sign up for FAFSA. So we have to build bridges again to let them know that this form is the entrance to go to college and kicks the funding for the Pell Grant. And a lot of people believe that they don't qualify for that, but they qualify for state applications. So it's confusing. I'm not in that world, and we just need to create that bridge with all our immigrant communities and being able to understand the process and trust us that we're learning with our communities to have
Miriam, I
access
want
to
to
college.
maybe ask you a question. Are you participating with this particular program that Critical Career is actually awarding
Yes.
any organizations that convene a education or helping students apply, and the organization get looks like maybe $1,000, something like of that nature. Or if you do something that has 5+ students involved, then you can get some kind of a financial
Yeah.
Have you done that too?
Remuneration. Yes, remuneration. The thing is that even with those incentives, we need to work harder at reaching out to the community so they apply for those programs. Again, I am familiar. I know we are in the process of finding ways to get people interested, but I can tell you, just in my experience, I invited about 400 people after a mass, and only 3 people got to us. And they weren't ready to fill out the form, but we're talking about people do not understand the process yet. So we need to.
Is that because students are not interested to apply to higher education, or is this simply because the process is too complicated? And I know I'm aware that the form is very difficult to fill. Is that because people are not interested in going higher ed, or are there other reasons?
I wish I could answer that.
Okay.
We're trying everything we can because I'm very interested on students to go to college. So we are creating ways to have these conversations with them to try it. And that's what we're working on. But hopefully Jose Ortega will join. I don't know why he stepped out, but he is being hired, but he needs help. He does not have the trust of the community. So he needs organizations like us that are working with families and being able to transfer that trust and comfort to be able to, for people to get close to those opportunities and try it and see if it works.
Okay. Yep. So, I mean, just a few more words about CMRC, that we have done work with RCTC before about educating and encouraging students to apply and be interested in the community technical college. So I think there's still part of our whole idea about within our community, there's work to do to really encourage our youth to look into higher education opportunity there. So I think this could work well into that particular direction. Okay, so yeah, that's unfortunately Jose seems like he cannot make it, so we'll just leave it at that. I look at my agenda again, and maybe this will be a short meeting. One more thing, maybe I want to say a few words about the BIPOC collaboration panel that's being held convened by United Way coming up next week. Let me see, I can get to that particular. This is the event itself. This is actually, to me, a very exciting event that basically bring together CMRC, and I know John Edmund maybe still be here, the Olmsted County's mobilization work for Olmsted County combining, mobilizing the voices, and then other groups as well. The whole idea is that CMRC's got some mission, and then Olmsted County's move has also got something, and then other organizations also touch upon almost like sharing information, that type of thing. So really the question becomes, and this is actually the question that will be answered hopefully in the meeting. So right now on the meeting that's going to take place next week is that there'll be some panel, four members of panel. And then we will be here to kind of answer the kind of questions that is being stated here. For example, I will represent CMRC. I guess one of my jobs will be tell people about the purpose of CMRC, right? And so would John Edmund would tell the people about what is Olmsted County mobilizing Olmsted voices for equity. And Shauna is involved with different things as well. Shauna, and he, in fact, he's also in some kind of task force. She's also involved in task force. And then Isaiah's got something similar, seems like. So it'd be nice to have this for groups of people, at least state what we are about. Okay. And then then after the panel finishes, there'll be side conversation, a breakout group to kind of visit with each one of us, I guess, to say what do we need and how is there somehow we can all collaborate together? Are we overlapping? For example, CMRC, we are always been struggling about are we doing something that somebody else is already doing? So hopefully coming out from this meeting next week, we'll have a better idea and a follow-on activity that says, let's see if we can collaborate better, that we don't need to do things that somebody else may be doing, right? Okay, so another question would be, what this I think is very, in fact, we might want to have a little conversation about that in our own group too. What does a community with strong BIPOC community involvement look like? That's a good question. And how does that compare to what Olmsted County is like today? Contrasting the current condition versus what may be a future condition if a BIPOC community is more involved. And then another question that might come up is how can we create a community where people have multiple opportunities to get involved and shape the future? The last question that each one of the four panelists would answer is, how can someone get involved in the work that you're doing? For example, I guess I'll be speaking on behalf of CMRC steering committee, how people can get involved with our work. So I just want to share with you this kind of interesting meeting that's United Way is hosting. And if you have time, the information is on the Beam website. In fact, so if you can, yeah, this is the poster, and it may be. I view this as kind of good opportunity for us to see we can do a better job of coordinating our work together. Okay, so I think we might make this a short meeting today, and I am eager to go back to the breaking news. To be honest, that is something really compelling that's happening that would affect the future of our country, perhaps. Okay, so thank you for everybody for joining. And again, this meeting has been video recorded and will be published on our website. Okay. Thank you for everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.